Welcome, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. We are excited about tonight's session, I should say, of Peace of Mind with InHER Piece. So this is an effort that we have on a monthly basis now just to keep you up to date with everything that's going on. And we are really excited tonight just to share some things here at the end of the year that we've had time to reflect on. We're going to talk about making the most of your personal firearms journey. So we want you to go ahead, log on, watch us live, participate in the conversation, send in your comments, send your questions, and invite someone right now. Go ahead and share this episode, if you will. Go ahead and call someone, email someone, IM somebody, whatever you have to do to get the ladies on the line so that we can talk tonight. I am excited to be joined by my good friend and fellow instructor, Miss LaTonya Bufford. She is joining us from Durham, North Carolina.
Yes.
I am technically in Fuquay, but I'm in Raleigh, Raleigh, North Carolina. Both of us are instructors, and we've worked with many of you who are a part of InHER Piece. And so we just want to take some time tonight to kind of look at all the trends we've seen, reflect on some lessons learned, and really help you as we move into the new year to make the most of this journey. We don't want you to waste your money. We don't want you to waste your time. We want to make sure that you are making the most of it. So good evening to all of you queens out there. We are excited to have you as a part. Let's go ahead and jump in. So LaTonya, I'll put you on the spot here. If you had to come up with just one tip for every person out there who is starting on a firearms journey, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give them?
I would say practice. Absolutely. Because, initially when you start, you're afraid or you have some hesitation. And, we jump when we hear that boom and that takes some getting used to and just learning your firearm and feeling more comfortable in practicing.
Absolutely. I have to agree with that. I have to agree. I think, practice, as we always talk about, as well as training, kind of go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think sometimes you probably have this experience too, where people just kind of mix up the two, right? Because training or instruction teaches you a skill, but then practice is where you go and you apply that skill so that you get better with it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's what's important, the training piece, because that was extremely helpful for me to gain that because I didn't have that. I mean, I've been around guns my entire life. However, the actual learning, the marksmanship techniques, not exposed to any of that whatsoever. I learned with my cousins and my grandfather in the backyard. And so getting that formal training has been the game changer for me.
And that, that's the Southern way. You have somebody that takes you hunting, and you learn in the backyard. But we do really have to make space for formal training. One of the questions we always get is, okay, I want to learn how to shoot. I want to be safe. Where do I start? What would be your advice for those people with that question?
Finding an instructor that you feel comfortable with that can introduce firearms training to you. I think it would be number one. And also sometimes not, being open, should I say, to multiple trainers. Because that comfort level and that knowledge and skill level of that trainer is what's going to draw you in. As well as encourage you to further your own knowledge as well as your own skill. And if you happen to run across one or two that doesn't really vibe well with you, guess what? It is okay to say, this relationship isn't working. Let me find someone who I can click with or whom I feel will give me the best benefit and help me and create an environment that's conducive for learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's so important that everyone start out with safety. If you are taking any class or you're involved in any club or organization that does not stress safety, then you're in the wrong place. That's always where you want to start. And then you want to build on top of that your marksmanship fundamentals. And then typically after that, you would get into some type of intermediate or defensive shooting as well. And that's so important that we kind of follow that order. I see so many people who are picking up a firearm for the first time and they think they're going to go to some tactical course,
Yes.
just John Wick it out. And that doesn't quite work well. So I really love what you said, though, about finding a trainer or an instructor. And I share this often. I unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, my first few courses with firearms trainers, my very first one was excellent. My husband paid for me to go and learn how to shoot. But then the next two or three were very scary. I experienced some discrimination. I was very much discouraged. And then I found some mentors. I found mentors in Barry and Rhonda Allen in Wendell, North Carolina at Academy of Personal Defense and Safety. Loved them. And for the better of 2+ years, they really poured into me and mentored me and taught me. And because of that experience, I really encourage people, find someone that you trust that will help you develop and reach your goals. It is good to, network with different instructors, but if you can find someone who can really coach you to where you're trying to go, that person will keep you accountable, or those people, and really stretch you to meet your goals. So hopefully InHER Piece helps with that by providing an opportunity for networking so that we all can get to know each other and have access to those instructors and mentors alike. Absolutely. So LaTonya, what are some of the challenges that you've heard from students in terms of, just getting better when they're not sort of moving forward, they feel stuck? What types of complaints or concerns have you heard?
I think the most that I've heard is finding time to actually train. That's been, and also not really knowing their firearms. In some cases, is you and I both know that a lot of ladies don't pick their own firearm initially because they don't know what they don't know. Right. And so they allow someone else to pick that firearm for them. So two things. One, they're getting used to their firearm. So that's one thing, because they didn't pick it, or deciding or learning that that isn't the right one for them, and then carving out that time to practice. It has been a huge challenge for a lot of our participants. And for me, I look at it from the perspective, like, I'm busy too. I'm busy just like everybody here. I have a job, I have family, I have friends. I do have other interests, but I'm a big proponent of, if it is important to us, we carve out that time, even if it's only 20 or 30 minutes, just to have that time out on the range and to improve that skill set. So it's about prioritizing.
Definitely. And even as instructors, you alluded to it. I know I struggle with time as well. It's so hard, even though I'm always at the range, it's hard to get on the range and actually get behind the trigger yourself.
Exactly.
But I will say to all the ladies who are watching, shooting is a perishable skill. Yeah. If you don't use it, you will lose it. And the most frustrating thing, right, is to get to a certain level in your shooting and then go to a class or go to the range and you just can't hit the side of a barn, You want to make sure that you are practicing, make sure you're consistent, make sure you are training. I'll share one of my training goals, and I don't know, LaTonya, if you have some to share, but one of my personal goals is to take 100 hours of formal instruction every single year, even if that includes retaking some of the basic courses, because honestly, y'all, the greats, they've just mastered the basics. They've mastered the fundamentals. There's nothing new under the sun, and there's nothing new in the shooting game, So that is one of the goals that I have, just to make sure that I maintain and improve my skill. What about you, LaTonya? What goals do you have?
Same as taking additional classes, and I've already got a few on my calendar. Now, I probably don't know if I'll make 100 as you have, but I won't be too far behind you. That is taking more formal instruction definitely is, but also for me, I because I'm working with you, have set some target goals from the perspective of their drills that I am absolutely not good at right now. And so, ladies, I still have that same thing where I got to practice. If I don't go for 2 weeks, I get out there, I'm just like, oh my goodness. So what I've done is I've actually set some goals with different drills that I want to make sure that I can master in addition to taking the instruction time.
Love it. Love it. And that's a great lead into some details here, because we're always hearing, how do I get better? How do I get better? I am a huge fan of drills. And those of you who come to the InHER Piece meetings, I haven't met all of you who have joined Spring Lake yet, but those of you who have come to Raleigh, you know that I am a drill junkie. The reason that I love drills is because, one, the work has already been done for us, right? Don't hate, duplicate. I believe in that. But also, I like standardized drills because they give us a benchmark.
Yes.
That the work has already been done. We know what the level is that you need to reach in order to be a master. We know where you need to reach in order to be considered proficient. So you already have a goal in mind. So I am a huge fan of drills. They are all over the place. I have a whole stack of resources here. One of my favorite books, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it's called Strategies and Standards for Defensive Handgun Training. You can see that there. This is a great resource. And if you purchase this book or even go to the website that references the same, you can download literally hundreds of standardized drills. Many of them will look familiar to you all who come to meetings regularly. They are part of our curriculum, regardless of which chapter you might belong to. But drills are a huge, huge benefit. Do you have a favorite drill, LaTonya?
I have been working since August on that hole-in-one. Yes, before you ladies, just to describe, the hole-in-one is you are using 10-shot intervals, and once you shoot the fire and make that initial hole, the goal is to shoot the remaining 9 through the same hole, but yet the hole shouldn't be bigger than a quarter. I'm at a silver dollar, but I'm working on it.
And that's amazing. That is amazing. There's an awesome instructor that we work with at Eagle One, our home range in Raleigh. His name is Michael Matthews, and he teaches basically armed security, from what I understand. And he explained something to me a while ago. He said, if you can shoot the same hole over and over and over again at 3 yards, distance is nothing. At that point, you have mastered the operation of the firearm itself. And so when you add distance, you'll be surprised at how well you shoot. And I must say, I have been amazed at that. There's no reason for me to send a target 50 yards down the line. I won't be able to see it anyway. But that same hole drill or the hole-in-one drill is an amazing place to start. Amazing. Yep. You also mentioned something about finding the right gun. You mentioned that sometimes people haven't bought the right one. What advice would you give to those who ask this question that we get so many times? What's the best gun for a new shooter? Or what's the best gun for female? How would you answer that question?
The best gun for a female or a new shooter is the one that you can control and have the most accuracy with. Now, the question is, how do you know? You have to try it before you buy it. I absolutely do not suggest anyone purchase a firearm that they have never fired before. Just because you don't know.
Exactly. 1000% agree. I will also say, when you're purchasing that firearm, remember the acronym REAP. This will help to purchase or select the correct firearm. The R is going to stand for reliability. One of the things that we see on the range way too often is, people kind of go with the fads and they'll pick up a firearm that no one's ever heard before.
Exactly.
You want to go for reliable, Colt, Glock, someone who has a good reputation and a firearm model that is going to go boom when you pull the trigger. That E stands for ergonomics. Does it fit your hand? Are you able to grip it securely? Are you able to secure a nice, firm grip on the firearm? Can you reach the trigger? Is it comfortable for you? The A is for accuracy. And quite honestly, can you shoot the gun? There are some beautiful guns out here, but it may not be the right gun for you or for me. And frankly, if we can't be accurate with it, it's not the firearm or the tool that we want to use. And then lastly is power. What is the caliber of the firearm? Many of us have been talked into going after the 22, which we know is not good for self-defense because it is a rimfire round. And then after that, we hear a lot of ladies say, well, I was told to get a 38, right? Or 380.
Yep.
And we have to be careful with those 380s. It is a smaller round, yes, but not much smaller than a 9mm. Most people who can shoot a 380 can shoot a 9mm. It's just a little shorter. But on top of that, it's way more expensive and a lot more difficult to find. So these are the things you want to keep in mind when you are selecting a firearm. But to your point, LaTonya, the main thing is try it.
Yep, absolutely.
Like it.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful. We've got a few comments here, a couple questions, so we'll jump over to those here quickly. This question says, do you recommend any ranges around the triangle that allow you to test fire first? I think pretty much all of the ranges in the area do. Depending on where the range is, they all have different firearms that are available for rent, but all of them do allow rentals. So the try before you buy isn't going to be, they let you go out and shoot it to decide if you want it, but you can rent it and try it out if you want to consider that firearm. That's a great question. Great question. All right, so we talked about taking classes. How do we select the right class to take? Because there are so many out here.
Oh, yeah.
What advice would you give to anyone who's saying, hey, I want to take a course, but I have so many options. What do I go after first?
Several things I think we should consider. One is usually recommendations. Because people who have taken a class and enjoy that class will refer you to that class or recommend a specific class. So I will ask about the recommendation, but I also look at the curriculum and I read the requirements for the course and determine whether or not that is a specific skill that I'm wanting to work on and or learn. And if they are offering that as part of their curriculum or their agenda for that class, and I may consider it, I'm going to check out the reviews, which is why reviews are so important. I will do that as well. And then I actually do read the bios of a lot of the instructors before I take the class. And so there's several other things that we can consider, but usually for us, it typically is referral, the agenda or the bio for the class, and the description. Description is really important. And then me determining what skill is it that I want to work on. And if that trainer offers that skill. And I'll ask questions. I'll shoot them an email. I'll shoot them an email and ask them a question. Like what would they recommend I do as a prerequisite for the class, or can I join as a new shooter? They are very good about letting you know.
Yeah. Those are great tips. And I think everyone should consider them when taking a class. I also, being, of a business mind, I always check the back office. I look at things such as customer service, insurance, just to make sure this is a person who is reputable, someone who's going to be around. As I mentioned earlier, I like to look for mentors. And if someone's going to mentor me, they need to have longevity in this thing, right? Not someone who just wants to teach some classes and make some extra weekend money for 6 months. So, and I to your point, I think reviews, referrals, they say a lot about that. And just reaching out to see if they respond is going to give you a huge impact.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely do that quite often by just sending a quick email. And how long does it take for them to respond? Because that tells me if I have questions after the class, should I even bother, reaching out to them? Will they respond to me?
Exactly. Yep, absolutely. Question in the chat coming in from online says, can you repeat the REAP acronym again? So absolutely. REAP, R is reliability. E is ergonomics, or how well does it fit your hand. A is accuracy, how well do you shoot it? And then P is power, what is the caliber of the handgun? Great questions. So moving on just a little bit, we talked about training, We talked about practicing at the range and making sure that that practice is purposeful. I want to encourage the ladies who are watching as well, and the gentlemen, if there are. We're not against the gentlemen joining us. I want to encourage you too to analyze your practice time. And what I mean by that is so often I see people, they'll pull their targets down, they'll kind of throw it in the trash. It was a good day or it wasn't. I really encourage you to take pictures of those targets, keep records, mark them up, keep scorecards so that, again, if you're running those drills, again, a plug for drills, you can see how you are actually improving over time. So another reason that you want to kind of be very strategic when you're going through those practices and make sure you're doing some things that will count and some things that will help you to improve over time. Another option for a book. I have so many books to share tonight. So this is a book from a fellow colleague who is a USCCA instructor. You can see his name here, Mr. John. This is a book he's just published. It's called Pistol Practice, and I think it's showing backwards. You all know how these screens do. But this book is amazing, especially if you are a new shooter. It includes some basic drills along with the targets. They're also included in score sheets for that very thing we just talked about. So you can walk through some basic drills, record your scores, see your progress, and as you basically ace one step, it guides you to the next. The great thing is John has made some of these available for us for sale. So we will have some of these as well to offer. And I'm really excited. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome resource.
Yay.
One other that I will share, I've mentioned this in our Facebook group. This is the shooting journal that is published by a Girl in a Gun Shooting League. Amazing resource. Even if you are not a member of the Girl in a Gun League, you can pick up a copy of this. You can order it from them. And this is also a great resource, no matter where you are in your shooting journey, just to help you with drills, to help you understand, where to start, where to go next, what specific tasks you should work on, and what skills you should be building. So document your journey. That's how you will know that you are improving. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a shift here just for a moment. We're going to talk about some InHER Piece specific business and some updates, and then we'll come back and answer any questions. So keep those questions coming, keep those comments coming. We're going to come back to talking about some other tools that you can use to really improve your shooting experience and to make it fun. But before we get to that, I'm just going to jump in very, very quickly to a little bit of our InHER Piece news so that you can know what is going on. We want to keep you all in the know. Of course, tonight we are meeting for our final Piece of Mind gathering for December of 2022. And we will, of course, move into the new year, if you will, with lots of new plans that we are going to share. We have some great things coming, and I'm really, really excited about those things. We've been talking about creating your training plan. And so I do want to just encourage all of you, if you're not in our Facebook discussion group, you want to get in there. We talk about all types of things. You can ask your questions. We share things that are going on in the area, just all types of news, even jokes, right? So you want to get into that Facebook group to make sure you are part of the discussion. If you go into that Facebook group and you go to the link within our group that says files, you will see this document that's displayed here on your screen. It's called Developing a Firearms Training Plan. And this is a guide that will help you to do all the things that LaTonya and I have been talking about since we started the discussion. It will help you to basically map out your progress so that you can make sure you're a new shooter or a better shooter by this time next year than you are right now. It's going to keep you accountable and really help you along the journey. I love this tool. It's very simple, but also very, very, very helpful. So definitely go and download that. Now, I'm really excited to share with you all some things that we have coming up in 2023. So please get your notebooks out, get your calendars out, and mark these dates. First and foremost, we are so excited that we're going to be participating in the Mud Girl Mud Run in April. This is going to take place in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we have a corporate team who has been developed As you all know, this is for a great cause. It helps to fund research for breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. So we are just really excited to be a part. We already have 10 ladies signed up, but there is unlimited room. You can simply go to the Mud Girl website if you would like to sign up. And when you do that, you'll have the option to join a team. Make sure you enter InHER Piece and you will be a part of our team. We're going to go and have a ball. This is in April of 2023. For those of you who are signing up, make sure you choose 9:30 a.m. for the start time so that we can all run together and get muddy and look silly for a great cause. It's going to be so much fun, so much fun. I also want to give you some updates on our POM program. So our POM program stands for Peace of Mind, and this is a mentorship program that was developed for us ladies, by the ladies, so that when you come into InHER Piece, you will be teamed up with a mentor, someone who can help you, just as we were talking, to progress in your firearms journey. Some of you know we've had some challenges. We went from having many instructors to not as many because people have gotten busy and moved and all types of things. We are going to continue our Peace of Mind program with a slight expansion and a little bit of change. Peace of Mind will still include 3 core courses. POM 101 is the USCCA Basic Handgun course. POM 102 is still going to be the Developing a Home and Personal Defense course. These are many courses, again, offered by the United States Concealed Carry Association. POM 103 is still going to be your Defensive Shooting Fundamentals course. The difference is we will be now offering courses and or sessions like the one you are viewing tonight on a monthly basis. So every month we will have either a course or a gathering like what you have. And some months we might do both. The only difference is when you take that course, you will receive your USCCA certificate, but there will not be a required range time associated with those courses. That range time is not required by the USCCA. That's something we've added on. And we're now going to make it optional. What we'll do is we'll let you all know who the instructors are in your area and allow you to reach out to an instructor that you're interested in. And these instructors have agreed to offer personal instruction at a discounted rate for InHER Piece members, which is still an amazing deal because you're going to have that one-on-one training. What this does, though, is it takes the scheduling burden off of us from an administrative perspective, because we're now still actually qualifying people who took this course back in August.
Yeah.
Who have still had to get on the range. And so what we want to do is alleviate that and keep all the trainers from having to follow up. And we're going to put the onus on those who participate to say, hey, I'm ready. Let me give someone a call and go to the range. So I think that's going to be an amazing expansion of our program. And it gives us an opportunity to talk about additional topics as well. Now, our next announcement, I'm going to pause and I'm going to put that one at the end, and that's our gala. We'll come back to that. Let's jump over to chapters. In 2023, as we did in 2022, we are really looking to expand our chapter footprint, especially here in the Carolinas. So I want to encourage all of you, if you are looking to have a chapter in your area, please reach out to us. The requirements to get started are pretty simple and straightforward. We must have a certified instructor who operates or is willing to operate as a chapter leader. We must have a relationship with a range and at least 5 women who are interested. If you can check those boxes, please reach out to us. We are really excited about expanding, and we feel that, everybody is looking for something like InHER Piece in their area. We're getting inquiries every day. Can you please come to our area? We definitely want to do that. So if you or someone you know are interested in getting that started, please let us know. Also want to talk about our shooting team. So this year we made a promise that if we started to see 6 or 7 ladies who were consistently competing, that we would formalize a corporate InHER Piece shooting team. This shooting team is still in the works, and we are about there, ready to formalize that team. You can join the shooting team regardless of where you are. So you don't have to be in Raleigh. You could be anywhere. We'll have one corporate team that competes wherever you may be. And hopefully in 2023, we will start looking for sponsors and get jerseys and all that good stuff so that we can formalize ourselves and actually have a good time, starting with IDPA. And we're also looking at GSSF in terms of the leagues where we will shoot. Last but not least, I want to encourage everyone to network. InHER Piece is one of many gun clubs. I just mentioned to you, there's also a Girl and a Gun, which is a shooting league, a little bit different than a gun club. But we also have NAGA, which we are heavily involved in, National American Gun Association. If you have not joined, I strongly encourage you to do so. www.naaga.co. Make sure you check them out. Also, we have Armed Women of America, another great opportunity, a wonderful women's shooting club and league. We have a Girl and a Gun. All of these are great opportunities. If you are looking to stretch, if you are looking to grow, consider other organizations. I'm a member of many, and I learn different things from different ones. I am not ever going to tell people, be an InHER Piece and InHER Piece only. That is not what we are about. This is a safe place for ladies who want to shoot, particularly those of us who are, in minority populations, because we have not been represented well in other organizations. That being said, as we're building the confidence that InHER Piece is here to help us build, we still want to go out and branch out and make sure that we are seen in other arenas as well, so that we can move the bar and change the narrative within the 2A organization. And now for our drum roll. I am so excited about our first Family and Friends Gala to be hosted on October 28th, 2023 at the Embassy Suites Crabtree here in Raleigh, North Carolina. That event is taking place from 7 to 10. 7 to 10. We're expecting tickets to go on sale at the end of the first quarter, so keep an eye on that. This will be a black tie event, and our theme this year is shooting for the stars. Y'all, we are going all out. We will have photographers, a DJ, catered dinner. As I mentioned, it's black tie. And I am most excited about our keynote speaker who confirmed for our very first inaugural gala. Beth Alcazar is amazing. She is the editor at large at Delta Defense, working with the USCCA. If she looks familiar to you, if you've ever taken a USCCA class, it's because she is the model for the isosceles stance. She's also the author of a lot of the curriculum that we've used, including the Women's Fundamentals course, the full course. It includes 3 sections that some of you have taken parts and some of you have taken it in whole. She is absolutely amazing, a brilliant speaker, very experienced in firearms, and she has been a blessing in my life. So I'm so excited that she will be with us in October. Now, ladies, this is a nationally known woman. You do not want to miss this opportunity. I'm not trying to think about the following year, because I don't know who we can get after this. I don't know what we're going to do. If we can't get Michelle Obama, I don't know what we're going to do. But you definitely want to be with us in October. We are going to have other guests available as well, but she will be speaking to us. She's very inspirational, and I just couldn't be more excited. So keep your eyes and ears open for more information to come, including tickets. We will be gathering sponsors as well. So you'll start to see social media buzz here again around the last first quarter. So definitely go ahead and reserve your time now. If you need to lose weight, if you need to buy the gown, whatever you need to do, make sure you mark that calendar so that you are free on October 28th. Last but not least, just want to remind you all on how to get in touch with us. We know that there are questions. The Facebook group is always open and available, and we do monitor that to help you with your questions. But if you'd like to send an email, you can do so to info@inherpiece.com or inherpiece@gmail.com. We also have a phone number that is monitored during business hours. That's area code 919-444-8911. For anything that you need, certainly feel free to give us a call. So let's get back now to tools. We do have a few questions in the chat. So let's see. Oh, these are some good questions. So first question, Why should you practice with hollow points? Do they fire the same as full metal jacket? Do you want to take that one, LaTonya?
Sure. So with the hollow points, those are primarily your defensive firearms, and so your ammo. So you want to be careful with that. You should definitely use it up for the year and then repurchase. However, it just gives, I think for me, it gives you a true feeling of what it will feel like to fire your firearm using your defensive ammunition primarily. However, practicing with it on a regular basis, I probably wouldn't do that just because of the cost. I would save that for its intended purpose of self-defense and primarily practice with your full metal jacket just because that ammo is specifically designed for that versus the hollow point.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Great question. There are a few questions here about the books that we talked about. So I will certainly share a list within our Facebook group of many of the books that we recommend. I've got lots of them. I know we won't get through all of them tonight. So I will certainly share a list in our Facebook group. Let's see. We also have a question here. Do we plan on going to Cleveland, Ohio? So, Kat, we will go anywhere in the continental United States where 2A is legal.
Exactly.
We've started just in 2020, and of course we started small and grew a lot faster than we expected, which is a wonderful thing. It's a blessing. And so we've concentrated here in the area where we've known, but we are absolutely not opposed to expanding beyond that. In fact, that's ultimately our goal. We want InHER Piece chapters everywhere so that ladies can go someplace and feel comfortable. And we do, although there are many shooting clubs, as I mentioned, we do have a particular culture and a love and a passion within InHER Piece that is like none other. And we want to be able to share that with others. So absolutely.
Hey, so Kat, do we hear a future chapter leader there? We're going to plug it in.
Another great question here is about the shooting team. So the question is, for the shooting team requirements, what level of skill do you have to have? One thing I love about IDPA and GSSF in particular is that you can shoot those matches as a beginner. Now, of course, you need to know safety. You need to know the basic operation of your handgun, and you need to be able to safely present or draw your firearm and get on target. So that being said, I typically encourage people to have at least an intermediate skill level, to have taken not only an introductory course, but also concealed carry, and at least another course after that where you specifically worked on drawing from a holster. Once you have that under your belt, I encourage everyone to get out there and start competing. You know, you can use your own equipment with IDPA, which I also love. You don't have to buy anything, you know, special. You don't need plates and drop thigh holsters and you know, all that good stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But you can actually compete the same way that you train. So if you have any questions about the shooting team, or you're interested and kind of want to know, you know, are you ready? Reach out to us and we can certainly help you to gauge that.
Yeah. And just to kind of plug in with that, until I actually started attending IDPA shooting club, sometimes it's hard to make that connection between going to a class, sitting in training, and going to the range, shooting down range, and applying that to a real life scenario. And the whole thing is, if your mind hasn't been there, your body's not going to go there. And with the IDPA training, it allows you that opportunity to apply what you have learned through your training, through your practice, to a potentially real life scenario. And then you have some idea in your mind immediately what you need to work on.
Absolutely. I concur. It really does change your perspective on
it. Does.
And it's fun, y'all. It's nerve-wracking the first time, but I promise you it is addictive after that. Oh, great question. The question here is, can we attend an IDPA match and watch before participating? That's a great question. The answer is it depends on where the match is being held. Right. At most ranges, if there's room for someone to watch, they will allow you to watch. Right now, we're primarily, centralized in Raleigh. And so we go to the one in Raleigh that's hosted by On Point each month. And they do have in one of their main bays a place where you can stand and watch. Basically, it's all glass. Some of the other ranges, it just depends on the setup. Sometimes there's not a place for you to really kind of hang out and watch. But just let us know which one you'd like to come to, and we can certainly answer those questions and give you a chance to check it out before you come out. You're going to want to shoot it, though. So just bring your stuff.
Nobody
$20. Yeah.
Exactly. Just come on.
And I think most of those matches, I'm trying to think, LaTonya, help me. I don't believe I usually shoot more than 100 rounds.
No, not 100 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
They're like 5 or 6 stages, I think, and just enough, but they're lots of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to, as Joy mentioned, to encourage you, just come out, just try it one time, and you'll be there forever.
So let's talk a little bit now, LaTonya, about some other tools that help us to train. For example, the Mantis X.
Yes.
Some of you have Mantis. Mantis is basically a device and software combination that you can purchase, which helps you to analyze your shots, and it gives you feedback. I like Mantis not only for the technology, but also there's a networking component. So you can join groups, people can encourage one another, you can compete against your colleagues, if you will. For those of you who have a Mantis X system, please join the InHER Piece group within the app. We are there, and there are challenges each week as well. So basically just to help keep you accountable. What other tools have you tried and liked, LaTonya?
I like the lasers. I do like shooting with the lasers. Those help. And one of the things that I've done is they're the light lasers. I bought them with the multiple targets. And so I place them when I'm practicing in different areas, some high, some low. And then that's when I have an opportunity to practice moving and staying on target. And I got that, ladies, from IDPA. That skill that I'm working on, that was definitely an encouragement to practice from IDPA, because you are moving. So that's one thing that I do. If you purchase, and I think I just ordered them from like Amazon, but purchase them and place them throughout the room that I'm practicing in, and have them at different lengths just to practice that movement.
Absolutely. And if I take just a step back, just want to clarify that everyone understands, we're now talking about dry fire.
Yes.
So dry fire is just the concept of practicing with a completely dry, empty, cleared firearm. You want to make 1,000% sure that your firearm is dry. But one thing I've learned is that even manipulating that trigger with a dry gun and going through, your practice with your draw or whatever the case may be, it translates to the range big time. I mean, dry fire is one of the best things you can do. I don't know. I've got a couple tools here. So much stuff on my desk. Here we are. Dry fire training cards. So you all have heard me talk about these before. Yes. They are available on Amazon. These are color coded. So, one color stands for low light, types of exercises, for example. Another includes exercises where there's movement involved. So it helps you to just kind of do certain things, again, with that completely empty firearm that are going to show up on the range for you. And you might be amazed at how well your shooting ability increases just by doing dry fire. Everything doesn't require a round of ammunition. So it's important. Now, my goal might be a little bit ambitious for some, but personally, I commit to 200 trigger pulls a week. Most weeks, to my shame, I don't shoot live fire, but I commit to those 200 trigger pulls a week, or trigger presses, I should say, forgive me, trigger presses a week. And then when I get to the range, I don't feel like I've missed out when I engage that target. It really does make a difference. So whatever your goal is, think about that. I encourage you. 200 trigger presses a week really makes a huge difference.
Ladies, that's just 25 a day.
It's not too much at all. Not too much at all. And if you have a Mantis X, you'll be at 100 in the day before.
Exactly.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, we have about 10 minutes left, ladies. So go ahead and get your questions in, get your comments in. I'm quickly going to share some resources again, and I will print these out or list these out for everyone, but I'm quickly going to share them. And I again apologize. I know my screen is backwards, but live fire drills, live fire drill cards. This is one of my favorite resources. I've talked about this over and over and over in meetings. Check this out if you are someone who's really looking for something to do at the range. A Girl and a Gun shooting journal. Just put a mirror up to your screen and you'll see it in the right direction.
It's actually showing okay. It's showing right.
Is it showing right? Okay, good. Yes. It might just be showing backwards to me. Perfect. Yeah. All right. You want to pick this up, you can get it at agirlandagun.org online. It's an awesome resource no matter where you are in your shooting journey, whether you are brand new or experienced, pick that up. This guy here, Pistol Practice, Shooting Range Guidebook. It's an amazing resource. You've got the author here. Pick this up online. Just Google it and you'll be able to pick this one up as well. We will also have copies of this one available for anyone who's interested. I also shared strategies and standards for defensive handgun training. If you're interested in competing, this is a great book. It also includes quite a few very useful drills that you will find challenging and able to provide some support also. Here's another one, Practical Pistol Fundamentals. This is a great, great, great book. I'm going to say that about all of them. If you're interested in competition, this author, you want to get to know him. You're going to want to read everything that he writes. I mean, just little things that are absolutely going to help you decrease that speed in your stages, transitions, all kinds of things. You're going to want to check that out. Here's another one by him to that point. Breakthrough Marksmanship. This is going to really help you again with speed, accuracy, and consistency. And another one. Dry Fire Reloaded. So we just talked about dry fire and the great resource that it is. This book includes so many drills. And one thing I will say is if you go to his website, you can actually order very, very inexpensive. You can order cardboard targets to stage around your home like LaTonya was talking about, and they represent different distances that you would see in an actual competition. Use that laser, whether you have a SIRT pistol, a laser light, or even a laser cartridge to engage the targets and the stages that are set up in here, and you will be more than ready for your first competition. And then last but certainly not least, if you have not gotten your hands on this by our soon-to-be keynote speaker, this is by Beth Alcazar, published by the USCCA. This Women's Handgun and Self-Defense Fundamentals course book is absolutely amazing. I mean, just the graphics alone are worth the purchase. So you're going to want to pick this up. Any USCCA instructor has copies of this available for you. I'm happy to bring these and supply some to the InHER Piece meetings for anyone who would like to purchase, but you need to have this in your library, 1000%. So again, I will list some of these. I'm just going to give you all a warning. I love books. So every one of these, we said we're going to have at least one a month. I'm going to probably have 10 or 12 books every single meeting. So go ahead and start getting your pens and your pencils ready. Absolutely, absolutely important. Well, with that being said, ladies, last call for questions. We are coming to the end of this particular session. LaTonya, were there any additional points that you wanted to make or highlight before we get ready to close out?
The only thing I would say, ladies, is to stay encouraged. We are here to support you. I feel like I'll be a lifelong learner, but I welcome other people, ladies, to come along with me for the journey.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, LaTonya, for all of your help in 2022. You all, if you haven't met LaTonya, she is a jewel. You want to meet her. She's an amazing instructor, very patient, beautiful person, and a great coach. So you definitely want to get to know her. I'm going to say this lastly. In 2023, if you are local and you have not committed to attending chapter meetings, you don't want to miss them. Every single chapter meeting, we share so much information. We get on the range, we practice drills, we learn so much. And every single meeting, people say, "Oh, sorry, I missed it."
Exactly.
Well, make sure you don't miss it as much as possible. We are going to hopefully be adding additional chapters, but for right now, you can gather in Raleigh or Spring Lake. And remember, all InHER Piece members have access to all chapter meetings. So if you happen to be in the middle, feel free to go to both. That is completely up to you. Our VIP membership is always open. It is a yearly membership. It is $50, but that will go up to $65 in January. So go ahead and encourage your friends and family to join. For those of you who are already members, that renewal fee will remain $50 for the year. That helps us to cover just operational cost. But we do want you to take advantage of the benefits of your membership. That being said, ladies, we hope that you all have an amazing holiday season. Please, please stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Look after one another. And we wish you a very happy holiday season, whatever you might celebrate, and a wonderful new year to come. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.